So here we go. All right, so here we go. It is not live from Cactus Music World headquarters because Quinn Bishop is on vacation. So filling in, Jeff Davis, music enthusiast and the president of the 43rd. Bam. A mythical territory in Northwest Houston, North Houston. We could go into it. It's just going to take too long. If you've ever been to Turkey Jam, you know what we're talking about. All right, so thank you for filling in, man.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me. I figured since Quinn wasn't here, I'd wear a Quinn Bishop hat.
Yes, yes. So it's either an homage to Quinn Bishop or you will be mistaken for the bass player in Rancid. All right, so let's keep it moving. The topic for today, this is what we're going to do. The topic for today is 10 albums you would take to somebody's house if they asked you to DJ. Which happens a lot over the years that we've DJed at people's homes whether they've wanted us to or not.
But when you text somebody at 5 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, by the way, we're doing this topic.
It's not 5 o'clock. Oh, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
And you don't give me any kind of frame around, is this a pool party? Are we doing karaoke or what are we doing? So, I personally just went with 10 things that we would normally cruise through over any weekend to give an evening.
All right, so we're going to go one at a time. Jeff's going to go with the first one. And Mike Henry says, happy Friday Eve. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. We're on a very little screen this morning, guys, or this afternoon, so I may not be able to see all your comments. All right, here we go.
Type large. All right, so the first one I picked, 80s, reminds me a lot of high school. Yaz. Upstairs at Eric's. If I was DJing a track off of this, it would probably be Goodbye 70s, which is always a party pleaser.
Oh, 100%, man. For me, it's Only You.
Well, yeah.
That reminds me. I mean, that's the obvious. So you're like, that's the obvious choice. That reminds me of like Numbers or Numbers.
This could be like hop around dancing, or it could be couple skate home.
Yes.
I mean, there's quite a range of things on this album.
Yes. So obviously, and if you don't know, vocalist for Yaz, Allison Moyer, did an amazing solo album. I think there was only one called Alf. Invisible's the track on that. It's fantastic. All right, here we go. You ready? You ready? Alabama Shakes, people. Color and Sound. This is an amazing record. For me, obviously, Don't Want to Fight. I think that's the closest thing they had to a single. But I was at 93 Till. I met my buddy Riggs over there because he'd never been, and we just sat there. And, they have vinyl and a DJ set up, and they just walk over and put an album on. And I hadn't heard it all the way through in a while. And they played the first two sides, and it was amazing. You like them? Yes.
I love it to death. I mean, that's really more of a bourbon party, if you ask me.
Okay. And I want you to comment on what kind of DJ set this would fit into, because I too have a scattering of different albums. All right, man, you got the next pick.
All right. So for all you funky people out there, I went with Rick James.
Down and Dirty.
There's you would go with your gut on Super Freak, but I don't know. There's a lot of tracks on here that you could just roll through.
Yeah.
Set. Now this kind of party is probably a little later in the evening, and probably a lot of dancing and stumbling going on.
And no kids.
By the time this one gets to the turntable.
And no kids.
And no kids.
And no kids. If you have, you saw the documentary, right?
Yeah.
On Netflix. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was in a band with Neil Young for a while.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, not Charlie Murphy. Oh my God. Yeah, Rick James is a good pick, man. It's an interesting story. If you guys don't have a chance, go see it. It should be still on Netflix. I think it's just called Rick James, right?
It's called Rick James.
Yeah, man. All right. So my second album, and this is like one of those albums I can always go back to. I can always put it in, and it's always killer. Tribe Called Quest.
Faux Show.
Low End Theory. Bugging Out. Check the Rhyme. Everything's on here, man. Scenario. I mean, oof.
There could potentially be a bong at a party that would be playing this album. Just say
your party is gonna smell like weed if this is on the the turntable. I'm just telling you, the record smells like weed. I think. No, I don't know why that connection is made, because I don't think these guys were into the herb. I think they were just lyricists. Produced and arranged by A Tribe Called Quest. I think 91, if I'm not mistaken. It's a killer album, man. If you don't have this in your collection, put it in your collection.
Staple.
Yeah, man. Q-Tip, Fife, just killer stuff, man. Yeah.
Q-Tip on his own.
Yeah, Q-Tip on his own. Fife passed.
Yes.
Fife passed. I got to meet him. He came into Fox 26 one morning. I can't remember why he was there, but I just walked in and they said Fife is from like Fife.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very cool.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. All right.
Okay, and since I didn't really know what
the flavor
was going to be, if you will, I went with the Jacksons' Triumph. Can you feel it? That's not only a track, but it's the question. Can you feel it?
Is Can You Feel It the track? Is that the banger on there?
That's the banger on there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why is that not ringing a bell?
Yeah, look how handsome they were back then. Fly.
It was a simpler time.
It was
a much simpler time. You know, they were all together doing their thing.
Joe was ruling with an iron fist.
Remember that they did that show in the Astrodome. It was like 1979. Yeah. It was right before that first Michael Jackson solo album.
Jackson 5. That was the Jackson.
No. It was the Jackson. I remember it was because they had it had the laser beams and they were dressed like it was like those outer space looking suits.
Let me see what year this was.
I'm hallucinating. I think that's
it's
the heat.
This is.
If you guys are not watching in Houston, Texas, you don't know it's 110,000 degrees outside. So
this is what you should be jamming when you're going to work in the morning with all the windows down as loud as it'll go.
That's the one.
That's the one. That's
one of the things I like about the drop is that it's educational.
Yes, dropping knowledge.
And you can look exactly see
dropping
now
knowledge.
People get it. You know. All right, man. So I'm next up here. Keeping an eye on the time. All right, so this is not the song or the band that you would expect a DJ to play at a party. But I like songs. I like kind of songs that set a mood, or kind of maybe change the mood a minute, or maybe just give you a chance to go get a drink. Mm-hmm. Because probably the person that's going to enjoy it most is me. Interlude. Thank you very much. So this is the first album from Iceland's own The Sugar Cubes.
You were reaching.
If you're
far and wide.
if you're not familiar, The Sugar Cubes had a pretty short career, but their vocalist Bjork is Bjork. So I mean, she's her own. She's
combo albums. But what's the track on that?
She is her own category. The track is Birthday, of course, which is not only was the first glimpse we got into the vocal range and arsenal that Bjork commands, but you know, just the arrangement, the mood, it's everything you want in an odd album. And an odd is a very strange album. And what's really weird, MTV put them on a tour, and it was Sugar Cubes' first album opening for Living Colour first album, and they played numbers. I didn't see it though. But anyway, Sugar Cubes. This is Life's Too Good. It's an odd one. But if you've never heard it, it's worth checking out. But yeah.
You might find it on sale.
Yeah. Jeff would walk up to me at the party as I was DJ and just push me out of the way after I played that track.
Well, you know, now that we have phones, it's easier to push you out of the way.
Correct. You're like, give me that.
Unconnect you from the
Yeah. And by the way, if either one of us are DJing at a house party that you walk into, be prepared for your favorite song to only last 30 seconds before we move to the next song.
If it's really good, it might be 45.
Okay. There you go.
All right. So I kind of went a different direction than I was headed.
How did you even get that?
So this came with a collection that I bought, and it was good, but Information Society. Pure Energy. I mean, kind of a 6400, maybe even earlier than that.
Richmond Strip, baby. Shout out.
Maybe Energy time-ish.
Yeah, no, I think it was before Energy. It was definitely before Energy.
Let's see the dates of these things, man.
Oh, and it's got a dub mix too.
Yeah.
You have a club mix, you have a dub mix, does it say a cappella? No. Per cappella. Clint Capella?
Pure Energy.
That song was a banger.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely on repeat. back in the day. I don't know what year it was though.
God.
I would imagine that.
It was on Tommy Boy too. I didn't know that.
Is it 90?
No, God. Here, let me see. Well, you got the cheaters on. All right, people. 88.
88. It was close.
It did not feel.
Information Society. That's what we feel like.
And that was the one, right? They didn't have anything else. That was just their song, period.
I think they had. That's just a 12-inch. I think they had another album.
Yeah.
Not that I bought. But...
They were probably huge in Europe.
Right.
Yeah. Huge in the Philippines.
That's right.
Selling out soccer stadiums.
Yeah, Thailand.
In Beirut.
The Elvis of Thailand.
Sure. All right, man. I think it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much think that this speaks for itself. Beastie Boys, first one, License to Ill. I want to say this, I think this is like the 30th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
There they are at Flushing Meadow Park. No, that was not the set built for Men in Black. It existed before that. Look at them. There they are. Yes, and we have Madonna to thank for the Beastie Boys because she actually was a big champion of theirs. Took them out on tour.
Did you see the documentary?
Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
No, I did not. That one I need to see. I didn't know there was one.
Yes.
So it's on Def Jam, of course, in the one of the bands that helped Def Jam become Def Jam. But it's a killer, man. Everything you want, like
Go to.
There's so much.
Back to that essential.
Yeah. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Paul Revere, Brass Monkey, Slow and Low. I'm going to keep reading. Rhyming and Stealing. She's Crafty.
Oh, yeah, she's crafty.
Fight for Your Right.
Fight for Your Right. Yeah, that's like a...
You could DJ half a party with this.
It's one of those you don't have to turn the album
with this out. Just let it go, man. God, that's a crazy record.
It'd be the same party you were at that played Tribe Called Quest, probably.
Probably. Did you ever see him live?
No. Oh, Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
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 Yeah, I've never seen Tribe live.
And they never saw the Tribe, no.
Okay.
All right.
This was something that we doubled up on.
Yeah.
Which was in on the Information Society thing. I ended up even deeper into the 80s with Flock of Seagulls. I Ran. I don't care if you like his hair or not. When I Ran comes on the radio,
yeah,
you're gonna sing the words, whether you like it or not. It's still a great song. You reach to change, and then it's pretty good.
And it's not a one-hit wonder. They had other songs, huge in Europe. Space Age Love Song.
Yeah.
Killer. I bought the second album. The second album was really good too. Messages. Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a great one.
That's a good
interesting album.
Very interesting artwork.
Kind of a random.
Yeah, I think they asked. I think they asked the drummer to they gave him some watercolors and said They
gave him some mushrooms and some watercolors and then tried this. I'm just telling you what it looks like.
He came up with the name and the artwork.
We need a rose on top of the television.
Sure, and lava.
The telly.
And the telly, yeah. Well, were they Brits? They were Brits, right? So the story goes that Mike, whatever the guy's name is, the lead Seagull, was a hairdresser.
Obviously.
Right?
Yeah. He had stock in Aquanet.
Jesus. All right, that was fantastic. All right, so it is my turn. Hopefully everybody's still dialed in. We haven't lost the entire audience. So this was actually my album of the year 2 years ago when it came out. It's Harry Styles, Harry's House. It's just a killer album, man. It's just a killer. Yes, As It Was is basically Take On Me by A-ha, but I think he did. Right. He did it. So
he was a fan.
So somebody actually and it's in a different key, but they took the two pieces of music, and the only real difference is he starts on the second chord of the progression. It's just different enough to not make it, hey, you ripped off our song. But I don't know that was his intention. Maybe he'd never even heard Take On Me. This is fantastic. I love him, don't love him. You're like always the guy from the boy band, but I'm telling you, if you don't give this dude a chance, his entire catalog at this point, you're missing out because he's. I love this dude.
It's interesting.
I love Harry Styles. You can
I'll
borrow that
give
one.
it a shot.
Boom.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so everyone familiar with this 12-inch?
Come on.
Hit that perfect beat, boy. Bronski Beat. However you want this to look.
Mr. Jimmy Somerville. Such an incredible voice.
Kind of goes back with the numbers-ish.
Very numbers-ish. Small Town Boy would be very, very... Yeah, little power tools.
I just, this was another 12-inch that just happened into the collection randomly.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know what to do that with.
And again, if you're not watching in Houston, you're not from Houston and you're watching this, we're naming a bunch of clubs that aren't there anymore.
1985. Yeah. Told you, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to go.
You just went right into the depths, all over the place. and you went good. So I've got a couple of compilations, and one of which I might have 3 in here. I don't know. One of which. This is one of those albums that you can put on and not. It's a compilation, so you can put it on and pretty much go hang out at the party you're DJing and not worry, you know. And it's probably you're probably just streaming it off of iTunes anyway, so you don't have to flip the album. But this is the soundtrack to Train Spotting. Please tell me that you've all seen the movie and you know what I'm talking about. But it is just there's a couple of flat out bangers on here. So it opens up with Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. Atomic is on here as well. Sleeper. New Order, Temptation. Blur. Sing, great song. Let's see, where is it? Underworld, Born Slippy. Come on, man. If that doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet.
Go for it.
And it's a fantastic movie. Was this who directed? Was that Danny Boyle? No, who directed? April would know. Let's see, 1996. Oh, here's the best part. So this came out as a special.
Oh, Orange Peel.
Look at it.
Whoa.
And there's 2 albums, so the 4 main characters are in the middle, and this is called something. Quinn would tell you what that little label is called. It's called something.
I'm sorry. I'm
failing. No, it's okay. I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know it either. But he'll get very deep into and I love it because I learned stuff like gatefolds and certain the way certain sleeves are pressed. You know, is a whole thing.
You didn't bring any 45s?
No, that'll be the next time Quinn goes on vacation. I have one. It's my Sharona. It's the only, and it's in the sleeve. It's got the black cover, the girl in the T-shirt. I've got somewhere in some boxes of stuff that's left from my mother's house. There's a 45. There's 2 45s. Dancing Machine by the Jacksons and Tear the Roof Off the Sucker by Parliament Funkadelic. Yeah.
Did you have the little orange adapter?
Yeah. Those are called something too.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're called. Yes.
All right. My turn.
Yeah, man.
Kind of on the same line as the information deal and back in the cold club days.
You're just a club kid, aren't you?
I was a Power Tools fanatic. Front 242. Headhunter.
Classic.
Is we're going to talk about bangers. I mean, this was a song in Welcome to Paradise. Headhunter was like probably the most requested song in 1988.
Hands
in
down.
The Houston club scene.
Hands down.
Headhunter, please play Headhunter. This one actually came from Sound Warehouse.
No longer in service.
Sound Warehouse.
Yeah, man.
$3.99.
So if you want to do something fun, the MTV used to have this show called 120 Minutes that used to come on Sunday night. And it was like the cutting edge of music. Man, every Sunday night I was glued to the television, or I had a VHS in recording it. And I remember when I saw 242 the first time, it's a black and white video. It's this guy running through that like broken down warehouse, and they had like a little, no drones back then. It was like a little radio controlled helicopter like flying around. Oh, it's so cool.
You know,
it looks so cool.
If you didn't know any of the words, you at least knew 1, lock the targets.
Yes.
2, paint the
lines.
The 3, slowly drag the net.
That's right.
4, you catch the man.
That's right.
No, sure. Headhunter.
Jeez.
Isn't that what your wife is?
Jeez, she is a headhunter.
Oh.
She gets paid. Well,
it's different.
When people pay her, she gets paid good money. Currently, people are not paying. All right, man, we're taking it back. Now we're entering a very strange area now, man. Yes. In the back half of my picks. I don't care who you are, what planet you are from. there is nobody that does not like this band. They do at least one song that every human being of the 8 billion people on this planet like. Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Even the new kids.
Even the new kids.
Shake Your Booty. Who did
Baby, I Love You. It's a good song. Wildly underrated. Wrap Your Arms Around Me. Come on. I Like to Do It. Shake, shake, shake. Shake Your Booty. Yeah, I'm your boogie man. Keep It Coming, Love.
And still touring.
Still touring.
Not very slim these days.
No, Casey. Casey is a larger. He's a bigger artist now. Yes. And the last two things on the sleeve here, right under the Casey and the Band International Fan Club that you could send a letter to or a postcard, right, to join the fan club. There's a photography credit. There's an album design credit. Background vocals, someone or something identified only as Fire. And then God bless everybody.
Hialeah, Florida. Wow. I wonder if that's still that P.O. box is still kicking.
The only non-Cubans in Hialeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't know. Was he Cuban?
No.
Okay.
There's nothing Cuban about him.
Didn't know what his background was.
Yeah. I should know his name, too. It's like Keith Charles or Ken Casey or something like that. It's just Casey and the Sunshine Band. Get this record. You could get this for like 25 cents at any antique or junk store. Yeah. Please buy it and put it in your collection.
Used rack.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so kind of on the, I have a lot of rap albums, but I did go back. We were going to be at a party.
Classics.
Is what I thought. And there's 2 tracks on this little, whatever you want to call it, mini album. Or whatever.
Yeah.
This also Sound Warehouse $3.99, which was probably a lot.
Yeah.
Probably like $12.99 at today's standards.
No, that's a $75
Tramp
album if it's new.
And Push It. I mean, Push It was a little overplayed, if you ask me. So I was a bigger fan of the song Tramp. I don't know why, but this is a party favorite.
Salt and Pepper, if you don't know, by the way, because people are going, what is the band called Tramp?
I'm not sure who produced it, but it was hyped up by Herb.
Oh yeah.
And the Super Def Dope producers. So
producer.
If you can see producer.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
The great song. Great band. I love Salt and Pepper.
Didn't they sue each other?
There were some arguments there.
Because it was, I know, like Spinderella had some beef, and there was all sorts. There's all sorts of trouble.
Spinderella had emotional issues.
There was also time's rocking. We got 6 minutes. All right, here we go. So here's another compilation. This is not you. You've got to dig around and find this record. This is the Soul Jazz Records presents New Orleans Funk. Now this is early 70s. I think there's some 80s in here, but this is music that has been sampled to the end of time. You're gonna know little breaks in here from like different hip hop groups, but these are the actual, Aaron Neville is on here. The Meters, Professor Longhair, Cyril Neville, all the Nevilles are on here separately. Into Lee Dorsey, the Gators, Danny White, Dr. John, of course, Robert Parker, Chuck Carbo. They're all good, and more Meters and more Sonny
What
Jones.
about Professor Longhair?
He's on here. Professor Longhair is
like
a jazzy, funky, way out there kind of dude that inspired a lot of people, but was never like the household name himself. But yeah, Professor Longhair, 100%.
I'm kind of stumped on what kind of party that would be at the Trilogy.
My kind of party. If you're at my house, this is what I'm playing. If you don't like it, go next door. All right, Jeff Davis.
I like your neighbors too.
You're up. My neighbors are great.
Duran Duran Jr. I like to call it, or Duran Duran 2.0.
It's 3 members.
Power Station.
Great record.
Power Station.
Banger.
Bang-a-gong.
Banger.
You know the words. Robert Palmer, John Taylor, Andy Taylor. Let's see, Tony Thompson. Who's Tony Thompson?
Drummer for Chic.
Okay. Oh, wow. And then produced by Bernard Edwards.
Bernard Edwards. Also Chic.
I like Robert Palmer in all aspects. I don't know where I got this one, but it was $6.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
The Power Station.
And when they finally came to Houston, Robert Palmer had left the band. And that one guy was filling in. Michael DeBar. Michael Desbars. was filling in.
Looks like it was owned by someone named Donna. If you can see that.
Oh,
I got Donna's album.
You got Donna's album. All right. So my turn.
Oh, I almost picked that one.
Depeche Mode, Violator, World in My Eyes, Personal Jesus, and of course Policy of Truth. You play those. Just play those 3 songs all night, over and over again on the loop, and you got a great party. You would hold my attention at least for an hour. Yeah. But yeah, that is my. Everyone who I know who buys a turntable wants to get into vinyl. That's the first of 3 or 4 albums that I buy as a gift, because everybody has. This is their biggest selling album. 100%. This is their biggest selling album, and actually, I bought this album. This was the first vinyl album that I bought when I noticed that Fry's was carrying vinyl albums. I'm like, are vinyl albums a thing again? It's had to be like 10 years ago. And it said on 180 gram vinyl or whatever it was.
That tour was at the Woodlands.
Yes, yes. I saw Music for the Masses at the Astroworld. What was the park? Amphitheater.
Lone Star Amphitheater.
I saw.
Lone Star Amphitheater?
No, it was the Southern Star Amphitheater. Yeah.
All right, last one for me.
All right.
Enola Gay is the track on this one. Orchestral, Manoeuvres in the Dark.
OMD, baby.
I mean, you can say what you want to say about them and Pet Shop Boys and all the
new waivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of neutral gender-wise in the 80s.
But
in the Volkswagen Bug, dates the OMD Warplane chant.
Banger. Banger. All right. So I think I may have gone one over. I'm not 100% sure. So obviously the song on here, there's some songs on here that are not the most uplifting. You know, and if you read the Basketball Diaries, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is Mr. Jim Carroll, the Jim Carroll Band out of New York City, Catholic boy. So the song that everybody knows on here is "People Who Died." Kind of I don't even know what kind of punk, proto-punk maybe, track. It's what he's best known for.
Fist pumper?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a thing. And it's funny because, you know, when you were stacking when bands were creating albums, they usually wanted side 1 to be really good, first song out of the gate, and you wanted side 2 to be pretty good. So the songs that were at the end were not considered to be your strongest. So People Who Died closes out the first side, which,
well,
it was a surprise single off the album.
I think there were some artists that really failed supremely on the track.
Yeah, which one's the hit?
You know, sometimes you never get to the second side.
Which one's the hit? You know. I had a friend of mine years ago that their determination of how good a band was always went to the first song of side 2. That was his litmus test. We got 1 minute. All right, here we go. Daptone Records, the Dap Kings. I guess we all found out about them when we were like, "Who's that band backing up Amy Winehouse?" It was the Dap Kings. The Dap Kings, and then Daptone Records. You know, a bunch of guys that decided that the older sounds of those kind of early 60s R&B, mid 60s R&B, and recording on old equipment and old microphones and old guitars, and then finding the old blues and R&B singers that had either never made it or participated on albums for other artists. They keyed in on those people. That's why they found Charles Bradley, Sharon Jones, and the Dap Kings. This is a great record because they're almost, you wouldn't know about them otherwise, I think, if it wasn't for Dap Kings and the work that they created. So this is definitely
Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings were a band.
Yes,
right? Separately.
Because of the Dap Kings.
Right.
The Dap Kings had started, and Sharon Jones was one of the first artists that they found, and then they ended up doing the Amy Winehouse thing. I think she heard this stuff and said, or some of this stuff, and was like, "Yep, hire those guys." All right, man, that's it. All right, so we're wrapping up the drop. Jeff Davis, thank you, brother. Always a pleasure to have you fill in. This is his second time filling in, by the way. Smyan Paul Patil. Smyan Patil says, classics. I agree. So you know what happens next Thursday. Quinn is back. Got a ton of new music to catch up on. A bunch of new releases, jazz reissues, and I think it's my turn for the Vinyl Vault and free shows coming up at Cactus. So you guys, yes, Emo's reunion. It's almost, if anybody cares. All right, Houston. If you were here 30 years ago, you remember Emo's. Great bar, great bands, great live shows. You never had to pay to get in. Always free. I saw everybody from Helmet to the Melvins to you name it. Smashing Pumpkins' first show in Houston was at Emo's. There's a reunion of bands that used to play down there quite a bit. If you can find a ticket, September 8th and 9th at Rockefellers. All right, guys, that does it for us. We're out of here. Peace.